Hi and welcome to tutorial 4, using evidence in your writing. Providing evidence is a really important aspect of academic writing, and you'll really benefit from developing your understanding of it. This tutorial is split into 2 parts, so you should complete tutorial 5 after this tutorial, which will help you understand why evidence is required in academic writing, supported and unsupported statements, and when evidence should be provided in your writing. In your written assignments, you'll be expected to read around the topic and apply the evidence from your reading to the assignment. This evidence should be referenced or cited in your essays. Assignments that fail to draw upon evidence or have very few references won't be considered very highly and will rarely pass, so using evidence in academic writing is an important skill to work on. Lots of students do underestimate the importance of providing evidence. They might typically think, well, I cut and pasted information from the internet and other sources for my college assignment. Nobody ever said anything, so what's the big deal? But there are several reasons why you need to provide evidence in your writing. Firstly, when you're using another writer's idea, you need to acknowledge that the idea is someone else's and not your own. If you don't do that, you're essentially stealing other people's ideas or plagiarising. You might think that that's a fairly harmless offence, but at university it is taken very seriously. And secondly, if you don't provide evidence to back up your statements, your work will lack credibility. To understand this, you need to be clear on the difference between what we would call supported and unsupported statements. Pause the video while you consider these 2 statements and notice how evidence has been used in statement 2 but not in statement 1. The first statement has no supporting evidence. This means that we can't be sure of whether it's true or not, so for all we know, the writers just made the statement up, so we would say that it lacks credibility. The second statement provides supporting evidence in the form of statistics, and the reference at the end shows where the evidence has come from. This makes the statement much more credible. So, you need to provide evidence to support the ideas that you draw upon in your writing. The books, the articles and research material that you read for your assignments provide this evidence. So, let's clarify when you need to provide evidence in your writing. If the information that you're using is common knowledge or a fact that can't be disputed, you don't need to worry about providing evidence. Common knowledge refers to information that's so readily available that it doesn't have a single author. So, for example, the terrorist attacks that happened in America on the 11th of September 2001 are so well known that they would be considered common knowledge. You wouldn't need a source of publication if you were mentioning that. Similarly, the simple point that the world is round is an undisputed fact, so you wouldn't need supporting evidence if you made that point in an assignment. So not every statement in your written work needs to be backed up, but statements that are not common knowledge must be backed up. So this could be an opinion, a point of view, or basically any statement that's open to question. So for example, the statement that men and women in industrialised cultures typically enter the adult world in their mid to late 20s could be debatable, so some kind of evidence, probably from research, would need to be provided. Similarly, the statement that children learn and perform many of the aggressive acts displayed by others could represent another opinion, or it could be disputed. So evidence would need to be provided to back it up. So to sum up, written work should contain evidence or references to back up the points that you make. You'll find this evidence in the reading that you do. Evidence needs to be provided to acknowledge the ideas of others and make your writing credible. All statements that don't express common facts must be backed up with evidence and references. Next part of this tutorial, we'll now consider the different types of evidence and what sources of evidence you should and shouldn't use.